Welcome back. This is the VWID Talk podcast. We're your hosts, Wes and Jan. And if you haven't checked out the VWID Talk forums, please remember to do that. We got a lot of great feedback and value out of those forums over the years here. Today, we are pretty happy to be talking with Gleb from United Chargers, who, as you can see in the background, makes the Grizzl-E, the venerable Grizzl-E Charger. Jan, would you like to introduce Gleb?
Absolutely. Gleb, it is our pleasure to have you here today.
Yes.
So you're CEO and founder of United Chargers, the makers of the, I would call it, legendary Grizzl-E Charger.
Thank you.
The reason why I'm saying legendary is that it has been working in my garage flawlessly for 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's a very important equipment. I'm using it almost every day because I'm charging my electric vehicle when I come home. So Thank you for building these great devices, and thank you for being here.
It's great to be here. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is our pleasure. So the first topic that we wanted to discuss is, how did you get, Gleb, into the, well, is it charger business or is it EVSE business, or is it both? Because some people talk about these two acronyms or these two designations for these devices interchangeably. So some people call it charger, that's the thing that is on the wall in your garage. And some people call it EVSEs, like EV supply, or as you say, Gleb, safety equipment. So can you bust these acronyms for us and then go into how you started and what led you to this space, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, guys, for the warm introduction. I really appreciate your comment about our products, my products. It's like a baby to me, so it does warm my heart. Really, it's like when you say, like, "Oh, your daughter did great in university." That's that's kind of what I felt right now. So thank you.
Good.
And yeah, so EVSE, of course. So level 2 charger is not actually a charger; it's a safety box. It's this equipment. The reason why there is no plug sticking out of the car, would be like a lot of people say, like, why don't you have just like a vacuum machine? When you just pull the plug out of vacuum machine, plug it into the wall, and here you go, right? So the reason why there is an intermediary device sitting on your wall is because of the safety concerns, right? So all best things that can happen, this box preventing from happening. So that's why when you buy a non-UL certified EVSE product, you making a very unreasonable decision, let's put it this way, because that the UL certification rigorously tests the box for different faults, and and UL is very hard to achieve. Like we have 3 products, new products right now in UL certification, and we constantly have new products in UL certification. And we run our lineup is the largest in the industry, I would say, but we'll talk about it later. And we're going to extend it even more because we want to cover all the cases of EV charging with different devices, which will make sense, hopefully. And when you buy a non-UL certified charger, then you just there's no point to do it at all, like completely, because you are not sure that it will prevent bad things from happening because nobody tested it as a lab. And basically, if it happens, you will lose insurance as well, right? So nobody will pay you your insurance for your home if it burns down, and because you used non-UL certified product, right? So don't do it. Charger, like, it's not charging anything. It's just a breaker in the middle which very precisely monitors what's going on, and if something doesn't go right, it disconnects the connection. Now, very important information, very important. Safety in Europe and in Canada, United States are different. The way the EV charger EVC is made for Europe and for Canada, United States, is different, as well as different for China and for other different countries. In Europe, people drive with the cables in their car. So they basically plug the cable into the charger and into their car, and they charge the vehicle like this. Because, vandalism, and they cut the cables in Europe more often. Well, we cut here as well, and we'll have to deal with it somehow going forward. But it's not that much vandalism in the United States, Canada, than it's in Europe, due to various reasons. So there is a special device inside the charger, European charger, which monitors the output line. If the output line breaks, it will disconnect. In Canada, United States, there is no such device. We assume that the line going from the charger to the vehicle cannot be interrupted. So we do not check the leakage and possible short on that line at all. So when people selling extenders, that is a very, very bad idea. So I highly recommend, like, if you want to use an extender, think twice. If this extender will short, the charger will short, and there is no protection, and it can kill and make damage. So
it makes arcing, right? Which
yes,
leads to almost immediate fire. So
yes, and charger will not shut down. It will continue supplying power because it doesn't. North American chargers don't monitor the outbound line, because we don't assume that there will be anything in between the charger and the vehicle, EVSE and the vehicle. We assume that EVSE will plug directly into the vehicle, and there will be nothing in the middle, right? So
it will still detect a ground fault, though. It'll detect a short.
No, detect nothing, right? So they sell on Amazon and everywhere those 25-feet line extenders. That's really against UL, against the code, and dangerous to you. So if you have a problem and the cord is not enough to reach to your car, you just place your charger closer to that location. If you need to put it on a bollard, put it on a bollard. Our chargers are aluminum enclosure. You can beat them. You can do whatever you want with them. They will sustain any elements, any damage, anything. So it's very safe to put them outside, as well as the plastic chargers. They will as well. They're pretty good for outside as well. So doesn't matter what brand you buy. And if you have a problem with the reach in the car, don't use extenders, please. That's not safe.
Okay. So Gleb, how did you get into this? I mean, this is not something that every person would say, I want to build a charger.
It's been a moment. So I'm from a computer world. I'm a computer engineer, and my major is SAP. So I've been an SAP developer for about 15 years, maybe 17 years. And I've been working with in Canada and the United States as a contractor and on many projects. Then I started my own business, and I had small database where I put servers in and I ran them out. That was popular topic at the time, and I had a lot of free space on my hand, because the servers, if they work, you don't have to do anything. If they don't work, then you wake up 2:00 in the morning and go and fix them until they, So if they're working, you have time. And at the same time, I bought Tesla. It was 2012. So I bought one of the first Teslas in Canada, and not because it's electric, but because it drives great. And I was looking for a kind of a sport car, and after testing all kind of vehicles, and I drove Tesla, I just thought, wow, like that torque really, like from at any instant torque at any moment of time, and that was just like out of this world, right? So I went, and Tesla wasn't known yet that well at all, like, and I bought the car. It was a Gen 1 car, 85 kilowatt battery pack. So, and I was driving it around a lot of attention, of course, at that time. And, I was thinking, like, this is the future. This is where how it's going to be, because it's more efficient, it's cheaper to operate and maintain, and it's more fun to drive. So it's like, it makes sense. And I was thinking, like, wow, like, everywhere we'll have charging points. Like, we have charging stations everywhere in the future. It's millions of charging points we need to be installed. Somebody would have to do it. Like, why wouldn't I do it? Like, why wouldn't I? Like, that's a great business. It's like, why wouldn't I try to do it? So I went and did the research on the who's selling charging stations out there, and figured ChargePoint was a very prominent company at that time. They just started the business. It's been probably, they just launched the first commercial product, maybe the CT4000. They just launched it. That was 2012, 13. So I called ChargePoint, and first what I said is, like, I said, I want to own and operate my own charging network. So I want to buy those stations, install them everywhere, and make money out of it. And they said, no, don't do it. You'll go bankrupt. They were pretty honest with me. That's amazing. So they said, like, no, not enough vehicles right now. And they've been right. Look at Blink. They've been bankrupted 3 times or 2 times maybe already. I don't know. Like, they've been bought out twice, right? So, and they work on this, and pretty much every network so far is not, like, I'm not sure if if they are, but I don't think they're making money. Like it's due to various reasons, not because of not enough cars on the road, but because of electrical demand charges, most likely. That's what killing the whole industry, and availability of power and rates on electricity and that kind of stuff. Right now to charge an electric vehicle is pretty much the same money as you charge gasoline car, right? If you charge in a DC fast charger somewhere, you can pay $100 for 900 kilowatt hour easily, right? So yeah, and that is the reality, and we don't have technology yet, but we need to fix that technology, and I hope I will put some part into it as well later going down the road when we talk about future. But yeah, so I started to sell charge point hardware in Canada, and first year I sold like 4 charging stations, and I installed them physically myself. So for the first couple of years, I've been operating out of my garage, and I've been going around at my free time. I talk to customers. I call them, saying, would you like to install a charging station? I go, what? Like charging what? For what? For the phone? So yeah, it was like nobody knew nothing. So I had to educate. I called like large corporations, and they go, yeah, okay, they want to put this green check mark, and they put one charger at front of their headquarters and say, oh, look, we have a charging station. That's so cool. So yeah, so I was going and doing it myself on my car, put the base on, drill the concrete, all that jazz, right? And connect the power with electrician. Of course, I'm not an electrician, so I had an electrician as well with me, and that kind of stuff. So then in 2016, about 3 years later, I was selling enough chargers that I was able to open a small office, and that was made under a company called autochargers.ca, which still exists today. And this company is mostly doing installations and sell all kind of hardware, not Grizzly chargers, any hardware. So we sell ChargePoint, we sell Flow, we sell all other different brands, and and the company is doing pretty well. So so then back in 2018, around 2018, we had a deal with Juicebox, where we made manufacturing of Juicebox in Canada under the eMotorworks agreement. Before Val sold the company to NL, we had an agreement with eMotorworks where we kind of manufacturing wing of eMotorworks in Canada with a profit sharing, and we manufacture and take care of the products in Canada. That was a very short assignment because Val sold the company and NL refused to honor our agreement and basically put us on the verge of bankruptcy, because I put me and my business partner, my friend from school who I know for 50 years now, 46 years, I think, 46 years. Yeah, he came and put some money in, and me, and we put all our money in that business, and NL just cut us off, and we like, what we're gonna do with all that equipment, with all that stuff that we bought, and we had no other choice that we hired engineers, electrical engineers, and we start to make our own charger. So that's how Grizzly was born. The Grizzly was born out of. It's pity to say that we probably put a nail in NLX North America, in the coffin of NLX North America, but I believe it's karma, because they didn't do well to us. They put us in a very difficult situation by not honoring the agreement we had with eMotorworks. Right. So we built
you didn't design these PCBs yourself. You hired board engineers.
Of course, yeah. They were about to sue us, but then they decided not to. Yeah, they sent all the papers to sue us when we all went on the market, claiming that we steal something from them. We steal nothing from them. We built everything from scratch, and our products are way better than NLX products. I can say it openly and clearly, and the reality shows it perfectly. So, anyways. All right, so, and then, we started to make Grizzly Classic back in 2019, 2020. We already got recognized for the product. Currently, Grizzly products, I'm saying it with large honor and respect, that is being selected as the best chargers in North America by many, many different bodies. New York Times Wirecutter puts us the number one. Consumer Reports, like any rating you choose, we are there, right? So with different products, sometimes it's all political too, from here and there. It depends on who sponsors who, but monsters like Forbes, New York Times, you cannot influence them. They make a very clear and knowledgeable decisions on selecting the products, and they have selected us for the 3 year in a row, and that means something, right? So.
Yeah. Well, and I've been recommending Grizzl-E to a lot of people. When I bought my charger, you didn't have your smart charger yet, and I really wanted a smart charger, and I've been happy with the one I've got. I got a wall box, but now that I've had it, I realize that I don't really need a smart charger, because I don't get time of use rates, and other people have said, look, the Grizzlies are really well built. They have these nice aluminum enclosures. I know plastic is fine, but aluminum, it makes you feel nice, and you're holding it. And I said, these are great, and they're less expensive, and they're built, right here in North America by a small. I guess we can still call you a small business. You're not that small, but you're medium size.
That's okay. You can call us anyhow you want. It doesn't matter.
So, but I've been recommending it to the folks that are getting chargers. And my friend got a BMW i3, and he got a Grizzly at his place, and I didn't even know he was getting it, and he got the Grizzly without talking to me about it. So a lot of people are really happy with it. And I think one of the things that's nice that you've done with these is everything that you've done conforms to standards. You're one of the only chargers I know that supports OCPP. That's the Open Charge Point protocol that allows it to communicate directly with, I can set it up to communicate with my Home Assistant server, which I built, or it could communicate theoretically directly with the utility companies. And you're the only company that I know of that allows you to enter the address of the OCPP server directly into the device.
Yeah. So let's put some clearance here about what the charger can do. The charger is a book. It's open book. You can write there whatever you want, but you need to write it. It's open. So basically, we have it can do whatever you make it do. If you write a program which will connect to the charger and do something, it will do it, right? So, and it's open to be connected. That's very important, right? So currently we had an integration done with Epic Charging and ChargeLab, and we have our own Grizzly Connect software as well, which is fully OCPP. We are integrating with a couple of other companies right now, and by the end of the year, we're probably going to be integrated with like a dozen of companies. Then anybody, pretty much, you can download a free OCPP server, install it on your computer, on your server, connect your charger to that server, and play with it whatever you want. It's and then you can start selling your hardware and software, I believe. And we have a lot of small startups which are using our hardware right now. It's official now, so I can say that Juicer, the company called Juicer, is coming to the market with a rebrand of our charger, and
they're really strong, right? Big guys,
yeah. So it's and we wishing them the most success with their software, and basically there is 100 companies in Europe which making software, and a dozen of manufacturers of chargers making hardware, and that is how it's supposed to be. Like you need to make hardware or software. If you make both, well, you can be Apple, but it's hard, right? And everybody tries to be Apple here. It's weird, right? So in North America.
Well, I wanted to ask you, though, about the challenges. A lot of people that get time of use benefits, rebates from their utility, the utility would tell them, look, you need to buy a charge point or you need to buy a juice box. And now, of course, a juice box, since NLX just kind of spectacularly pulled out of the United States market in really a very poor fashion. Have you had challenges being an approved vendor? Like why does my utility not give me a rebate if I buy a Grizzly charger?
Yeah. So we've been working. Business is hard. Let me tell you, it's hard. We've been working really hard for the last 2 years on getting that OCPP hard software firmware working perfectly. Mm-hmm. So now we achieved that state, and we're now starting to integrate. So next week I'm talking to V Energy. That's the company who is doing all the integrations, and I know VP of business development there for a long time. So it's my old friend, and she's she's going to help us integrate into all the different energy programs, I hope,
Okay.
with our open charger. So it's work in progress. We can't.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we can't build the Rome in one day, but but we're building it.
There's a song about that, I think. Yeah. But your classic charger doesn't support this, but your mini supports it.
Yeah. So basically, we have, as I said, we have probably the largest line of charging stations in. I don't know any other manufacturer except probably Chinese ones who would make that many different products in level 2.
Yeah.
And the reason is we want to segment the market and have a better solution for each market segment. Now, why we like aluminum closure is 5 times more expensive than plastic. You need to understand it, right? Yeah. And we still managing to beat on price all the plastic enclosures on the market, manufactured here in North America. So it's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy. It's not traditional because we just work. I just work 24 hours a day. Like I work. That's all. Like we don't like a lot of people, young people here, and I don't want to blame all. There is a lot of brilliant people, young people out there, but many are just trying to be a mediator. It's like order here, make them work, make this, put together, sell, right? And that doesn't work because then you split your margin across the board with many different companies, and then you have nothing left at the end, right? So what's the point? We're trying to do everything ourselves.
And if I may chime in again on the enclosure, I was really impressed when I took it down because this is of course like serviceable. Sure. There are some switches. It's a solid piece. So I measured the wall. Aluminum. It is 7 millimeters. The wall thickness is 7 millimeters. So if there is something happening inside, it will stay inside. I really love it. I'm kind of confident.
So
do not shoot your Grizzly charger.
Yeah, well, we constantly improving the hardware. We learning on we're making mistakes, of course. It's not in human nature to make mistakes. So earlier models of Grizzly, if you own a Grizzly which is 3 years, I really urge you to open it up and tighten the connections because over the years. Because of the weather and changes in temperature, they can unscrew. And if they unscrew a little bit, they start to heat up. When they start to heat up, that can lead to fire. So we had a couple of fires in our boxes, but and everybody else does the same. Like nobody is immune from that. But if it burns inside the metal box, it stays inside metal box. It doesn't go anywhere, right? So that's additional kind of safety feature.
And Gleb, by the way, this problem isn't just a problem of the potentially EVSE device or charger. This is also a problem of many people have sockets like NEMA sockets where they plug in the charger and the connectors can get loose inside of that socket. And usually that is not in
that is a big problem. We need to touch on that. Absolutely. Yes. So guys, NEMA sockets are not made for frequent disconnects. You cannot, if you disconnected your NEMA socket once a day or even once a month, you need every 10, 12 disconnects. You need by code. You need to open the box and tighten it up, and even make sure that the metal that is connecting to the connectors is tight because it's getting loose. And if it gets loose, it heats up. When it heats up, it burns. Yep. We have a lot of cases, and people blaming charger for it. We have 1-star Amazon reviews saying, "Oh, the charger burned the outlet." No. It's the outlet that burned.
So I think the learning is that if you're sharing one outlet with your dryer or some other device, please don't do it. There are splitters that allow you to
NEMA
do it
1450 is a dedicated outlet. Let's put it this way. You cannot have it like 110 volt, which you plug in, plug out.
Right.
It's a lot of power going through this outlet, and if it's loosens somewhere, it starts to heat. As soon as it starts to heat.
Also, you don't want to buy one of those from the big box stores, right? The $10 one, the $10 1450. You want the Hubble one, right? You want the nice expensive one.
Well, the rule of thumb would be always hire an electrician to do it.
Yeah,
licensed certified electrician to make sure that everything goes well. And even ask him, have you tightened the bolts to the proper torque? Because
proper torque. It's not just like tightening it with what I feel in hand, but there is a given specific torque that this needs to be torqued. So it's not something that we can do as homeowners without enough knowledge by ourselves. So it's
Well, you can Google it, and you can get a tool which shows the torque, and you can do it still, but do it right.
Exactly.
And then every couple of years, it's a good practice to open that outlet and make sure the torque is there. And if you feel, now this is the thing, if you have an outlet and you charge in your car, every time, like once a month, touch it with your hand. Touch the outlet once you unplug it and touch it with your hand.
So it's not to get electrified, but to feel the temperature.
If it's warm, if it's hot, if it's getting hot, you need to tighten the connections, right?
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to ask you about your product lineup, because you mentioned earlier you wanted to segment the products, and I see you've got your new 80 amp Ultimate charger there behind you on the wall, but not everybody can charge at 19 kilowatts. Not everybody has a Porsche or an Audi that has a 19, or I guess a F-150 Lightning would have.
No, so F-150 Lightning, we had this huge conversation on Twitter, and
I didn't see that.
It was a big so basically, if you use a Ford 80 amp charger which uses AC port, not DC, DC port, not AC, DC port, the CC combo, they have a combo port.
Oh, I didn't.
Then on some models you can get 80 amps because it's going through the combo port. From J port, I believe this year they discontinued the 80 amp charging. In the previous, only on the fleet models, you can get it as a special order. On the previous models, yes, many models of Ford can charge from 80 amp, and they do. And I urge Ford to allow 80 amp charging for J plug for all your vehicles, because this is what needs to be done. Like GM and other of your competitors allowing it. Silverado is doing it, no problem, without any additional cost. It's not that much money to put the 80 amp converter in the car instead of 40 or 50. So it's marginal cost difference. Basically, if we install those cheap 80 amp chargers everywhere, and all the car manufacturers will upgrade their onboard battery charger to 80 amp capability, then we will solve the problem of EV charging infrastructure pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to somebody recently who, I was really telling them how much I love my electric cars, and they live in an apartment complex, and they don't have charging there. But I have another good friend that just got a lease on a Kia EV6. He's paying $250 a month for this lease, and his apartment complex has free EV charging. I don't know what, so he's not paying anything for his
That's
fuel.
cool.
And yeah, so I mean, but we need that. So we need to be able to put these things everywhere. And but I think that I like that you have the segmentation, because not every, if you have an older Chevy Bolt, you're not going to be charging even at 40 amps.
Yeah.
Right. It's you can use your classic charger, or even I love the mini charger that you sell, because not only is it smart, but you sell it with, I could plug it into somebody's dryer outlet if I need to.
Yeah. So mini, we that was the most difficult product for us to accomplish. It took us almost 3 years to finally get to the version which is really good. Like the previous version was good as well, but we didn't spend time and money on certifying it, because we knew we were going to add more smart capabilities to it. So now this version is fully certified and actually OCPP enabled, so you can keep it as your permanent charger at home. It comes with a cradle. You can put it on the wall and hang it on the wall, and then when you go for a trip, you just take it from the wall, put it inside the bag with all the adapters, and go. Right.
That's
so
great.
Yeah, and we admired all the adapters that you're supplying with it, because if you going for some round trip or some road trip, and you rent an Airbnb house, then you can potentially plug it into the dryer socket or into a hot tub socket if such is available.
There's a campsite adapter,
and even campsite, TT30, you can use it as well.
And then you have the 4-prong dryer adapter, and you have the what's the other 220? Oh, a 650.
650, right?
Yeah. So that's really universal one. So if you deciding to upgrade the level 1 charger that is in the car, then this would be a great choice, because it will cover your everyday charging in your garage or at home, but also on the road. So
yes,
really good.
That's what probably going to replace some of the wall-mounted products going forward. Probably.
Yeah, it's great. Well, and it's small, and it's also a smart charger as well, right? So it supports the OCPP. You can use it with your app, and this is newer than your regular smart charger, right? Your regular smart charger is essentially your classic with the ESP board in it.
Yes. So
Right.
the regular smart charger is an older version. And we're
Gotcha.
going to discontinue it soon. Like we're going to replace it with a newer board. Now it's in UL.
Okay.
So there is
It's
a
in
little
UL.
bit upgrade. We're always upgrading the
That's
hardware.
awesome.
So there is a new upgrade coming about New Year times.
That's great to hear. And
Yeah.
there's actually one thing, and I know we talked about 80 amps and charging at max speed, but I actually like down rated my charger. So there are some dip switches that you can set the maximum charge current or power that you want to deliver to your car. And actually, my thought was, well, I want to charge so then I'm not straining the transformer that is here on the street, because why would I charge 11 kilowatts? Like that would be the max that the car can do. And the second thing was that I really want to pump a current that doesn't heat up any component. So it doesn't heat up the socket, as we talked about, or even doesn't heat up the breaker that is dedicated to this EV charger, right? And so then I'm charging this 16 amp, that's roughly 4 kilowatts, and it's perfectly sufficient for what I need. Would the car charge like in 2 hours or 4 hours overnight? Well, I really don't mind. Right? So do you think it's a right approach?
You're playing extremely safe. Well, if the charger is UL certified and the installation is done by a certified electrician and the socket is UL certified and everything is UL certified and the breaker and everything, it's supposed to be okay to charge at maximum speeds. There should not be any problem. But again, if you want and the car inverter inside the vehicle is supposed to be lasting the same amount of time, doesn't matter what kind of power it's going through. But again, with the lower currents, you might, if you want to play really safe, then you can downgrade a little bit. The reason why we have dip switches in there is that by code, if you can put it on any breaker, but you cannot change it through the app because app is easy to change, or it needs to be a physical something inside the charger, which is not that easy to access. That's why some people complain, why you don't put those switches outside. If you would put those switches outside, then it wouldn't be. The purpose was exactly to hide them inside the charger, so the electrical inspector say, okay, that's safe. Nobody will open them and change them. And
it's
even
not like overclocking your processor.
Yeah,
I'm just going to turn it up.
In Tesla charger, there is a dial which you can dial to different amperage. We didn't do that on purpose to make it look more complicated, so the inspector would not say somebody open up and change it, because you really need to know what you're doing if you want to change the dip switch settings, right?
Well, in our case, we set our charger to charge at 12 kilowatts, Jan, because my wife and I both have EVs, and sometimes one of us forgets to charge our car. I'm not going to say which one, but then I can plug my car in, for 4 hours and unplug it and go plug hers in.
You need to do a charger for that purpose.
So and I see you have the dual. Well, and some chargers can do load sharing. Have you designed yours to do that, where you put them on the same?
So again, we have an open book, as I said. Whatever you write in there will work. So right now we write in that page which says power sharing, and the update will be available mid-November. So in mid-November we'll have a software update to our Grizzl-E Connect application, which will enable the sharing of one outlet within 2 or 3 units.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, because instead of installing a disconnect, we installed a load center.
Yeah, we're working on it.
So that's pretty great. And will that work with all of your smart chargers?
Yes. Everything that connects to Grizzl-E Smart application will be able to do it.
Which is the ultimate 48 amp, the ultimate 80 amp, the
and
smart,
mini.
and the mini.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Awesome. There's one more thing to add now. I realized, Wes, as you mentioned, that you are using one charger to charge 2 cars. And another thing that I really like about Grizzl-E is the length of the cable. It's a 25 feet long cable that really reaches across the garage, regardless on which spot you're parked. So that's super convenient. But also the cable, like some cables tend to be very stiff, especially when it's cold. But this one is made really well, so it rolls pretty neatly every single time. So, big kudos to you, Gleb, on that.
Thank you. No, it's not that perfect how we would like it to be, but then you put in consideration the cost, the price, and the outcome. And I think for the money, it's pretty good. Of course, for example, ChargePoint charger is better because it's made of more costly materials. But then you wait, do you really want to pay extra $50 or $100 for it? Or you need to put consideration, weigh the costs and balance it, right? So we don't make our own charging cables yet, We have plans to do so in Mexico, where we have a facility right now. But currently we're buying cables from the market, right? And we're testing them rigorously with a freeze test and the overheat test and all kind of stuff. And we select the suppliers who has the better flexibility of cable. And that's how it is. But hopefully in some period of time, we'll be able to do it ourselves.
Yeah. Awesome. You need to make sure they didn't just take an extension cord and wrap a bunch of tape around it. And, okay, good.
Yeah. No, all the cables are UL certified. Now, about the length of the cable, a lot of people asking, like, can we make a 40 feet cable? Can we make a 50 feet cable? Because my car is far away and I can't reach it. So 25 feet is the maximum that UL allows. You cannot have a cable longer than 25 feet. So we have maximum. Currently, we used to have 24 feet cables. It came kind of in with the market, but now like all our chargers have 25 feet.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
But that also discourages people from, when it's 25 feet and not 20, it discourages people from plugging an extension into it.
Yes, right? Yes. Yeah. And again, so, if you're not reaching your vehicle, move your charger. Don't put extension cord in there.
Yeah.
Right. So this was a great overview of your portfolio. So for our listeners, if you're in the market for EVSE or a charger, search for Grizzl-E chargers and pick from the entire portfolio. And I think they're priced very reasonably, right? From like, can you just give us a sense of what is the price range?
Yeah. So we currently manufacture charging equipment, EVSE in Canada at the cost below what is done in China.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, because we don't have any middle people. We don't have any middleman. We're doing everything ourselves, and we're buying directly from a big suppliers, whatever we cannot do ourselves. As well, the 80% of the value of the product is made in Canada, so it's a fully Canadian-made product. The PCBA and is made in Canada with our partner Mara, and in Canada here, and we're very happy about this fact. So that's why the quality of the product is under full control, and we have we build our own testing equipment, so not like automated testers. So when the conveyor line goes through the final stage of testing, the technician plugs in the vehicle into a box, and the box performs in 3 seconds performs all kinds of scenarios of all the faults and check if the charger reacts to those faults, and like make sure that everything is working before we pack it into the box, right?
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So
when I'm looking at
the price wise,
yeah,
like we're trying to be like a lot of companies, and I understand them. They do sales sometimes. They do like promotions. We don't do it. Our price is a promotion right away. Like we're trying to do the best at the first time, right? You like we squeeze like there is a reason to have a price, like we don't make crazy profits. We make enough money to live and to pay employees and develop new products. And we are not.
You're not venture backed.
No, we are not. We are not venture by any venture capital. We are bootstrapping the company. We actually reinvest in all the profits back into the company, me and my business partner. So there is no capital behind us. Nobody is telling us what to do. So we are very free to do whatever we want, and we want to keep it this way. So
I love it.
We're getting a lot of interest in our company from investors, and we are not taking any money in. We don't need money. So that's the thing. We are perfectly financially strong and fine. Like we are lean to the maximum, so extremely lean. Whatever happens, we'll outsurvive everybody else. I'm telling you, like because we got $0 from government, zero. Like all the companies we competing with got millions and millions of dollars in direct and indirect subsidies, mostly indirect subsidies. Like, for example, when ChargePoint started the business, they got $50 million from Obama fund when they started this thing, and Blink got $100 million to start the business, right? Like Flo got millions and millions of dollars from Quebec and federal government recently, like $250 million, and then we got nothing, and we don't need anything. We don't want any free money. No, that makes us weak. Right. We want to be strong. The market is in consolidation stage right now, so that means a lot of companies will die off. We just have news that EVBox finished its career, and EV Connect as a software as well today, that they are closing the business. So there will be a lot of market consolidation. A lot of large companies will unfortunately leave the market because they were not able to compete.
And we've seen it recently with the NLX
Yes.
departure.
Yeah, and Alex is just the first one. There will be many more. The market will reconcile. And what we need to think of, ROI. That's three letters which need to rule this business. Yes, return on investment. We need to stop the subsidies. We need to have it a business as usual. Because right now I'm selling my charger at one price, and the competitor selling the charger twice higher. But subsidies allow consumer to buy the higher price product, and that is discrimination from my point of view. And then this company is making crazy profits, which they spent on hiring hundreds of people. Come on, EVBox, 720 people. What they have been doing? 700. We have 60 people in the company. 60.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, 720 people. What you have been doing?
Data science. So they're figuring out how to sell the
EVBox. 1,400 people.
Yeah.
ChargePoint had
Well, that's really impressive that you're able to build such a diverse lineup of your chargers that are high quality, UL-listed, interoperable, and of course make them here in the United States, or in Americas.
Right, but right now I can get your new 48 amp smart charger for less than $400. I can get your new 80 amp charger that's smart that we were talking about for less than $700, and I can get the 40 amp mini for less than $400, about the same price, and that comes with 4 different adapters that you can use at a campsite or at your mother's house when you have to plug into her dryer outlet, or in a stove outlet in a place in the woods. So it's a lot of great choices. Sorry, go ahead.
And even the 40 amp, the classic Grizzl-E that I have, is available as refurbished, right below $300. So that is impressive.
As used, we dropped the price to $230 right now. Used.
I saw that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, and now your new Ultimate chargers can both be ordered with the NACS plug for the Tesla plug. So the new Hyundai and Kia is starting late this year.
There you go.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome.
It looks like it's smiling at you too.
You're ready for the future. So
that's great. I wanted to ask you an
adapters coming with every charger now, except Classic and Smart, because Classic and Smart are older hardware. We just don't have 3.3 volt on the board to have the button working, and without working button, we decided it's a bad idea to launch the product. But again, we are in the process of redoing the older products with the newer boards, which are way better. And then
you can just put a 3.3 volt coin cell in there. Just get a coin cell battery.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to recertify the board. Then that's the problem, right?
No, put it in the handle. Put it in.
Exactly. Yeah, or let there be a plug for external power supply. So it has been a great discussion with you, Gleb. We are at the 45-minute mark now. So we have a couple areas that we wanted to touch on, which is talking about the future. Is there anything else, Wes, before we go into the future that you wanted to ask or bring up?
Well, I just want to put in consideration the OCPP. That is why it's important, why it's really important for the future. As market will reconcile right now, there are a lot of companies will go away. We don't know which companies will go away, but we can predict, or we can imagine. Just imagine. I hope that never happen. I hope the ChargePoint will be solid financially and go forward and sell millions of chargers. Because that's our partner in electrification. We don't have competitors on this market. We have partners. Our goal is, why are we selling low on price? Because we want people to be able to afford it. That's why more people buy it, more electric cars on the road. That's the circle which we need to keep going. We need to get rid of gasoline. We need to get rid of oil. We need to get rid of wars, of dictatorships, and everything else that supports by gasoline and oil. We want to eliminate it. We need to be a new species, living and making the power for ourselves. Because electricity you can make yourself, right? So you'll be more free. You'll be less dependable. That's why we're saying that all partners, no competitors. Now, if ChargePoint goes out of business, hopefully not, then what if they are not OCP compliant? That's going to be a huge hit to the market, right? It's going to, NL will be just a miserable thing compared to that big hit. What is the potential of it happening? Might happen, might not happen. We don't know. But what if, right? What if? So that's why I say when you buy a charger, if you don't want to have your charger bricked or not fully capable of doing what it's doing, buy OCPP-enabled chargers. We are not the only manufacturer which makes OCPP-enabled chargers. I believe that there are a couple of more companies on the market which do it, but I cannot speak for themselves. We, at our website, if you go to the very bottom of the website, on the right, there will be a link how to connect our charger to the third-party OCPP network. So if you go to a manufacturer website of a product you want to buy, and there is no such link, I would think twice, honestly, to buy this charger or not, because even if they say they're OCPP compliant, the OCPP compliance can be on many different levels. We need a compliance on the box. So box can be switched to a different server, but through the Wi-Fi initial connection. So no server involved in the middle, nothing, no hardware, software, just the box. And I know that some companies do have it, and I really want everybody to have it. Everybody.
Right. Well, that means that if I'm connected to some provider that's doing the OCPP and they go out of business, I can just log into my Grizzly interface and change the URL.
Takes you 5 minutes. You reset your charger to original state, log into it, type in the new IP address of the new server, and here you go. And then you download their app and connect. And more than that, not only going out of business. What say they charge you too much, right? And then there is new guy on the block which charge half of that money, and really have cool features. Why would you have to stick with something that you don't really need or
for
cost
open
too
standards?
much? Yeah.
That
I wanted to ask you. I know we're trying to wrap up, but I wanted to ask about your the ethical treatment of animals, and when you with your manufacturing, when you have the bear putting the claw marks on the cases, do you give does the bear get breaks? Like how do they make it perfect every time? We want to make sure you're treating animals.
Only treats and good health support and benefits.
Good. Okay, all right. That'll make our listeners feel better.
We're trying to, again, with our employees, we're trying to be the best as we could. Like they are our family, and we just one organism. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Great.
That's awesome.
So for the future, quickly, if you don't mind, so things will get rough within next year. Market will change. People will start to think about those 3 magical letters ROI when they buy commercial equipment, because right now those letters are not anywhere close where they need to be. We will be playing, I think, important part on this route. We're working very hard on making those 3 letters make sense. OCPP is a enabler here of such a transition. New companies will grow in the market. If you are a young professional guy who knows OCPP and knows EV charging, go open your company. Go start making software. Use our products. You will win. You will win. The market is huge. Potential is huge. We have just 5, 6, 8 companies out there. There is 100 companies in Europe competing and all making good money. It's about time. I urge you, do it now. Second, DC fast charging technology, unfortunately, will go away. The current technology which we have is not sustainable. We need to work on a new technology. We're going to work on a new technology. Grizzly will work on a new technology as soon as we have enough time and money to do it. And it will involve hydrogen. So it will be off-grid charging locations. Yeah. So we're gonna do it. We already started to work with one university on putting together the specifications for such equipment. Regardless of what's going to happen on the market or whatever, we're going to do it anyways, because without it, the electrification will stall at about 25-30% mark and never going to go higher. If we want to go through the 30% electrification, fleet electrification, we need to have this technology. Then, a lot of reconciliations on the market. A lot of manufacturers will drop the prices on the vehicles. The vehicles will become more affordable. Wireless charging. Okay.
Yes. I wonder because I was just my phone was just sitting on a charger. It's like a 20-watt, and it has been pretty heated up. So, how are you gonna harvest that excess heat that gets created when you charge at 2 kilowatts?
As Elon Musk says, everything else is a guidance. The physics is a real thing, right? You can't beat physics. So physics tell us that the loss of energy is going twice for every distance you have. Like if you have that much distance, you lose 15% of energy. If you have that much distance, you lose 70% of energy, which goes into heat. That's for the wireless charging, right? So I think we need to use like some superconductor elements which work at the room temperature in order to achieve proper wireless charging. Until we get it, it's not feasible, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Those don't exist right now.
That's bad news, but we need to be able to be super conductive at room temperatures to achieve that technology.
You have to go to Pandora and get the unobtainium in order to
whatever. Yeah, go to Wakabe. What is this country?
Wakanda. Yeah,
Wakanda. Get the stuff and
So it's I think it's a great time to wrap up the podcast for today, to wrap up with superconductivity. So we got from the traditional ways of charging your cars into superconductivity. Gleb, we are so fortunate that we were able to host you on this podcast, and you accepted and shared all your journey and talked about your charging products with our listeners. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much for having me. It was fun. I really enjoyed your company, and hopefully we're going to talk in the future again.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
We would love that. Thank you so much. So please subscribe to the VWID Talk podcast so you don't miss the next episode, and keep discussing, join the discussion at the VWIDtalk.com forum. Thank you. Bye.